Welcome to 90 Seconds with Jesus. We're in the book of Luke today, the very end of chapter 5. The Pharisees have seen Jesus do a number of miracles. Luke lists out 4 of them in detail. And then they start questioning him, and they go to the disciples and ask, why is it the disciples here are having a party? They're eating, they're drinking, they're enjoying themselves, but John the Baptist, his disciples, they fast and pray. What's the difference? And Jesus tells them a little parable. He says, look, why would the groomsmen fast when they were with the bridegroom? Speaking, of course, of himself. And they go through a few different things. He says, this is how it goes. You don't take a old piece of cloth and try to patch it with a fresh piece of cloth. It'll fray, it'll pucker, all this stuff will happen. You don't take new wine and put it in an old wineskin, because then when it begins to ferment, it'll grow and what have you, it'll burst the bag, it'll be ruined, the wine will spill everywhere. And then he says this line at the very end of it. I want to read this. He says, and no one puts new wine into old wineskins, or else the new wine will burst and the wineskins will be spilled out, and the wine will be ruined. But new wine must be put into new wineskins, and both are preserved. And no one, having drunk old wine, immediately desires new, for he says, the old is better. Those who are used to drinking the old wine don't want to drink the new wine. And we could go into a lot of details about the culture of the time, and what it meant to have new wine, what it meant to have old wine, what it meant to have a new garment, an old garment. But I think the point that he's getting to is this. He's informing the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, all of them, things are going to be different now. You used to, the old, we can say that represents the synagogue, and the new, that represents the church. Or we could say the old wine represents the law, and the new one, well, that's grace. We could say the old one represents being under the bondage, and the new one represents salvation. Whatever it's telling us this. Jesus is establishing things are going to be different. We're living in a different time. Lots of upheaval, lots of threats, and even our own safety, our own security is being threatened on a daily basis. That's because people are looking for something. And I think what they're looking for is this new wine. They're looking for Christ, for salvation, for grace, for the church. Not a church building, but for a church.